Good morning, this is Gayatri Devi, and welcome to my channel where I share tips to help you live a happy and healthy and peaceful life. Today I'm going to share 10 very easy tips for your own self-healing and to heighten your energy levels. I've used these during my cancer process and to help boost and preserve my energy level. So you can use these if you're struggling with an illness or a chronic disease, or if you're not, that's great. And you can use them to improve your energy level and your feeling of peace each and every day. So here we go. Number one is water. And I think it goes without saying that we know that the water today that we get out of the tap, we don't really know what's in it, and it tends to have different contaminants, medication residues, heavy metals, toxins, chlorine, etc. So if you're looking to help your body cleanse, release any toxins in the system, and improve your energy level, look at the quality of water that you're drinking and get a filter. It can be something inexpensive to start, but if you can, I do recommend going another level with something that is a little more than, let's say, a Brita filter, something a little more than a carbon filter that filters out, again, bacteria, microbes, something at a smaller level. I personally have used reverse osmosis either as an install on the sink, or they actually have on Amazon and other places you can buy portable ones where you just fill up the tank, let it go, and then you press the dispenser and it gives you filtered clean water. So water is very important. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water and letting it, again, go through your body and wash out any toxins, any waste products that your body needs, and it will help you keep your energy level high. Second, number two, is your diet. Same thing, just taking a moment to clean up your diet a little bit, whether it's avoiding foods that maybe don't resonate with you or don't digest well, to looking at whether you're eating maybe more cooked foods, which are easier to digest, versus raw foods, or having less preservatives in your food. Just taking a look at the diet. Doesn't have to be huge, but any types of tweaks that you can make to make your diet more friendly to your body will, again, help you have more energy, speed up your healing process if you're, again, healing from an injury or illness, and help you live a longer life. Third is air quality. As someone who has had experience recently with difficulty with my lungs and congestion and inflammation in the lungs, air quality is very important and something we kind of don't think about. And so air quality includes making sure you have fresh air, going outside if it's good air, getting fresh outdoor air is perfect. Indoor air, make sure you're changing your filters. Use the highest quality filter you have on any indoor systems. And always also keep your place clean, free from dust. The fewer things you have, the less dust is going to accumulate on them. And make sure there's no mold, cobwebs. If you have animals, do your best to keep your place clean and free of the pet dander, because again, it can aggravate any allergies you might have, any breathing issues you may have, and your body simply just has to work harder to get that pure air and oxygen into your lungs. So treat it compassionately and check your air quality. Number four, I touched on this a little bit, but that's, again, the cleanliness and the clutter levels in your household. So if you are feeling either like there's too much going on, or you simply want to kind of give yourself that reboot, that life refresh, and revitalize your life, look at your space. And I believe there's a saying that your space is a reflection of your mind. So if your mind is messy and dirty and cluttered, it can be hard to create. If there are certain things that you want to do, certain goals you want to achieve, certain ways you wish to live your life, but it's not happening, take a look at your space and check if it really reflects how you wish to live. And so that might mean doing a deeper cleaning, getting rid of some things that you don't need. You can donate them, sell them, make some extra money on it, but take a look at your space. Maybe it's even as simple as rearranging it a little bit. shifting, maybe changing the direction of your furniture, adding a plant. That also helps purify the air. So just giving your space a refresh. And when your space is in harmony with you, you will notice a change and a shift in your energy, your ability to be peaceful and relaxed and rejuvenate in the comfort of your home. And your home, I feel, should be a place where you can do so. Number 5 is to avoid alcohol and drugs, and also those who are ingesting them. So, of course, we know that they are toxins to the system. They affect your energy level, the ability for your body to function, and they inhibit healing and the harmonization, again, of your energy channel, all the electrical circuits. They kind of slow you down and are generally not good. There's a lot more that can be said about that, but basically if you eliminate those from your life, it may seem hard at first because there's going to be a resistance from the habits that have been created, but over time you're going to experience increased energy, increased awareness, better communication and relationships with people around you, better satisfaction in your life, and you're able to, it also makes you, let's say, a more attractive energetic magnet. So the good things that want to reach you, such as stability, peace, prosperity, etc., they can stay with you because they're not being sucked out by those destructive habits. 6 is on cursing, and this is something that maybe we don't think about so much, but foul language, if you think of levels of language, foul language is low and degrading language. And so if you wish to, again, lift up your level of energy, your level of perception, your level of awareness, then take a look at if you're using foul language and find ways to change it out. Maybe you can say, oh my, or goodness, or some other form that's not so negative. And in fact, my teacher, my shamanic teacher, Peace Mother Gita Sacred Song, said that she was driving in a car with other people, and they almost were in an accident. And someone next to her said, after that had happened, someone next to her said, wow, I can tell you're the real deal because you, at that moment, she said, oh ma, like oh ma, just crying to God and not another word. So think about that and see how you can uplift and change the words that you use, because then there are whole schools of this too. But your words, your thinking is your perception, and also it's how you perceive the world can be expressed in words, and therefore the words can also can be used to create a positive reality that you perceive. So you can change your thoughts and your life and your mind by focusing on all those. Number 7 is to reduce medications. Now, I am not saying don't do any, well, first of all, don't do any of this without consulting your doctor. And I am not a doctor, and this is my personal opinion, not medical advice. But sometimes, and I've had this experience, you may be prescribed a certain medication for the indefinite future, and that works out very well for the seller of the drug, and your doctor may be well-intentioned, but for whatever reason, they may not check back with you and see if that is still needed. So medications are, and this is actually one doctor told this to me. He's a great doctor. He said, for every medication, there's something that it does well, but then there's a bunch of things that it doesn't do well. And so we use that, we only use it as much as we need it, but then as soon as I didn't need it, he would take me off of it. So that's an example of a great doctor. But other doctors, they have their own process. They might not be doing that. In that case, you need to advocate for yourself and ask Doctor, do I still need this? How about the dosage? Maybe if you're doing a lot of other things and becoming healthier, you might not need that certain level. So maybe we could try 80%. And I've asked this before too. An example of this is painkillers. I know that I'm very sensitive. So sometimes instead of the full dose, I'll say, could you just start it at 50% or start it at 80%? And these were in situations where like that was in a very high level of pain. But just see if you can bring it down a little bit. And obviously, if you feel you need more, you can always go back up. But it's a way to lessen the strain on your body due to the foreign substances coming in. So consider that. And there are also lots of herbs. If you notice and do some Googling, there are, well, first of all, a lot of the medications that we have today are derived from constituents that are from herbs or plants. And so it's actually man-made versions of a certain herb or plant. And there are also herbs and plants and supplements that you can take that have very similar effects or the same effects as the medications, but without negative side effects. Now, I'm not an herbalist, and I don't know all of that, and that's my opinion based on my experience. But definitely before doing anything that is with your medical treatment, consult with a reputable physician. That's their job. That's not my role, but something to consider for sure. Number 8 is to take plenty of rest and meditation time. So this has been, for someone like me, I'm very active, and I feel that our culture generally is focused on how much you're doing, how much you're active, and it's so accepted we don't even think about it. If someone says, I'm too busy or I'm stressed, we hear that so much, we've now come to think it's normal. But it's not normal, right? In how many decades and ages have there been people who have had many things to do, but they had bigger stressors on some level, like bigger threats. But the kind of low-level, self-imposed pressure and feeling of busyness and doing too much, that doesn't need to be there. And a way to counteract that or to heal ourselves from that condition is to take more rest time. So instead of taking your energy and going out with it, conserve that energy and build it up by taking extra time to just close your eyes. And you might find your mind thinking about things, but that's okay. Meditation, they're guided meditations. I'm also a fan of Yoga Nidra. There's some great guided Yoga Nidra tracks. I used ones by Sri Dharma Mitra. He's a yoga master in New York City, and it's great. He has this whole self-healing visualization, and I'm out. And you're basically pulling positive energy into all parts of your body and relaxing. It's great. So take some time for that. And I have a relative who's studying herbalism, and she said, think about it like a bank account. You want to keep saving up and not draw it all down because you don't want to run into bankruptcy. So build up your energy stores by resting and being quiet, doing nothing more than you think you may need, and it will help. 9 is to surround yourself with positive people. This one is very important, and it's interesting. I find it interesting that many of the yogic texts and scriptures and the writings of yoga masters, they say, be careful of your company. And initially when I read that, it seemed a little old-fashioned, but now they're very serious about it. And the reason they do it is because we tend to take on the habits and beliefs of the people around us. I read an article once of a woman she became overweight because her boyfriend was very overweight, and so she started taking on his habits of overeating and negative behavior, but then eventually she broke up and then she was able to lose the weight. But when she was with him, again, there's so much influencing back and forth both ways, good and bad, that goes into it. So if those around you aren't influencing you in a positive way, if they don't reflect, if they're not there to support you and love you, and they criticize you, or whether it's to your face or behind your back, if they're bringing more negativity into your life, and this is especially important if you're healing, if you're fighting in a very grave disease situation, those people are taking your energy, and they, like, those forces going through them are trying to kill you. So it's not good. Don't accept it as good. Don't accept it as feigned concern, because they want to stay close to you. So you'll notice, I don't want to go too much into this, but there are certain people who will say, I am concerned. They'll listen to everything you have to say, but then they won't actually help you. And instead they'll go and they'll talk about it to neighbors, or gossip, or criticize your decisions, and basically put you down, but not actually step up to help you. That's not real concern. And I've made other videos too about the people around you. But essentially, make sure that you feel, and an indication too is that you should feel comfortable and safe being yourself around them. Like, you shouldn't have to, I feel that you shouldn't have to be delicate, or, you know, avoid stepping on someone's ego because you said something wrong, or that they're going to be hurt because they misinterpreted something that you said. To me, that's a lot of energy, again, spent trying to cater to people who are too sensitive. Nothing wrong with it, but they're just not a match for you at this time. And instead, again, take that energy to protect yourself, love yourself, care for yourself, and surround yourself by people who can be that way too. And lastly, number 10 is also about positive input. There's so many levels of this. I won't go into all of them, but look at, and these are pretty easy too. You can just do these by thinking about it, but think about the levels of input you give yourself every day. So we've already talked about food, about people, but take a look at, if you want to, again, lift up your energy, help yourself heal. Think about your input. So what do you read? What do you watch? Who do you listen to? Who do you follow on social media? What types of music do you listen to? What are the lyrics? What is the condition or quality of the singer? So if you have a very, even though they might have music that resonates with you, if there's a singer who is very troubled, or known for having, let's say, abuse issues, that energy is coming in towards you and being received by your senses every time you listen to it. You're basically connecting with them, whether you realize it or not. So these are easy steps for, again, healing, raising your energy level. See if you can, and maybe sometimes we just need a bit of a shift. Maybe there's a different type or rhythm of input that we can do, such as, instead of always looking at the news, the negative news, maybe reading an inspirational quote, or reading an inspiring biography of someone who was brave and heroic in the face of a lot of confrontation and challenges. So all the levels of, again, sensory input, TV, movies, what you're reading online, who you're listening to, who you're following, all of that, and also your surroundings, right? The environment that you're in, whether you're in a place that's very busy, a place that's, you don't feel safe, all of that, right? It's coming at you. And if anything that you can do to lift that up and shift it into a more positive place, you will feel the results in your spirit, in your heart, and also in your body. Your body will receive that well. I hope this was helpful. This was a lot of information packed into the video. So if you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. You can share it with those you love. and leave any comments below. I'll see you next time. This is Gayatri Devi.